435 season. We're coming off a second round playoff exit. It's actually back-to-back playoff exits, second round exits. We are looking at the following lineup this year. Dustin Stevens, Patrick Scuderi, and Jeffrey Thomas on the top line. We've got Sylvain Benoit, Pierre Giroux, and Henry Chiodo in the second. We've got Valery Kovalev, Ola Bergfors, and Jared Canone on the third line. And Jimmy Paco, Doug Hunter, Curtis Halpern on the fourth. Our defensive pairings are Ronald Blues, George Bedard, Dwight Appleby, Dean Andrews, Sylvain Ouellette, and Marvin Morgan. And we're going with Anders and Burke as the backups this year. Let's get through let's get to the trade deadline. And see how this team's holding up. And Paco rejecting an offer. Steven's accepting his, so that's good. So I just gotta resign Paco. I did do a couple free agent signings. 102 forwards. So 1-1 start to the year, 1-2. Two and two start. A lot of early time off in this year. There we go. We have 3-game winning streak. 1, 2. Six, 4 in October. Well, I might move my Appleby out. Decline that offer. 10-5 to start the year. Oh man, 14-10 on it. Start the year off. That isn't great, but it's not horrible. Longest winning streak of the season, 4 games. 5-game winning streak. 6 games. Jesus. So, longest winning streak of the season so far is 6 games. A 3-game losing streak. Well, let's make it 4. Why is it the day that scouting ends, it takes forever? I just want to say we haven't had a overtime loss yet this year, then we just got one. It hasn't been 5 weeks. Let's hit 35 wins by the trade deadline. Good boys. Come on. And we are at the deadline with a 35-23-4 record. That is good enough for at least second in the division, because Colorado has 3 points ahead of us. Jeffrey Thomas with 30 goals once again on the year. This guy is just 2 years left on his current deal. He's hit 30 goals at least. 30 goals a season, at least for the majority of his career. with us. He has earned the right to retire as a Winnipeg Jet. Now, I'm going to try to load up for a playoff run. I've got 13 players on expiring contracts. Burke, Paco, Ouellette are UFAs. Same with Stajan and Brennan. So the UFAs, I could move out for sure. Oh man, I'm gonna try to bring a couple veterans to help this team out. Appleby's been a concussion risk. See, he's got a big money extension coming in. So I bring back Patrick Laine. To give us some offensive push in the playoffs. Two, three, four, five, six. So we got rid of an injury risk defenseman who's had a concussion at least once every year so far. We bring in Patrick Laine, who's got 12 goals, 22 assists this year. Games. Hopefully we can spark the offense. He's won 2 cups with us in the past. It's on last year of his contract, so he probably will retire. What else do I have at the deadline? Try bringing some veteran help. So I still need a left winger. Burke and Ouellette. It's 2 million players, so. You don't want to absorb the guy's contract. It's up at the end of the year. So a couple minor changes. We're going to bring in some veteran help on offense this year. Take a look at the lines now. As we go, Patrick Laine, Scuderi, and Thomas on the top line. Stevens, Grillo, and Benoit on the second. Canone, Bergforce, Chioda on the third. Shore, Hunter, and Verbata on the fourth. There you go that way. That way those guys are playing their natural positions. Okay. And then we've got defense. We got staging up now. Yeah, it's fine. As we bring up our rookie goaltender to finish out the year. Give him a test in the last 20 games, see how well he does. His overall trade looks good. We got a 5-minute shutout. Use Hunter for a couple of games. And Line immediately goes out with a concussion. And I'm not liking this losing streak. We have not. Jesus, our first win in forever. So we end the regular season with a 4-game winning streak. Was it enough to make the playoffs? Took our division. Thomas with 83 points leading the team. Liney came over with 12 goals. He ended the year with 15. Teslos goes 2-1, 927, 212 goals against average. That's pretty good. Well, let's get to the playoffs. See how we do. Man, that division is so tight. 97, 97, 96 with the points. We play the Golden Knights in the first round. The Sharks take home the Presidents with 103 points. Well, let's see how we do against the Knights. Well, Golden Knights open scoring late in the first. The goal from Gardner on Anderson. Anderson's 40 seconds left. We'll shoot them 11-9 after one. We trail by one going into the second. And Wong makes it a long score for us, as it's 2-0 Golden Knights now. Shots are now even midway through the second, and we're just taking penalty after penalty. Hunter makes it 2-1. Shots are 19 apiece. We trail by 1 heading into the third. And I take another freaking penalty. The captain ties it up, but Ellison makes it 3-2 almost right away. 24 seconds later, Hunter ties it up. So we're not going down without a fight in this game. Shots 32-27, tied 3-3 after 3. We're going to overtime. And Thomas, I think, completes the hat trick. No, second goal. Doug Hunter, Jeffrey Thomas, and Kirk Gardner, your 3 stars. Winnipeg stats. How did Line A do in his playoff return? He had 2 assists, 3 shots. 4 of the penalty minutes were his. We're into game 2 after taking the first one in overtime, and Vegas opens the scoring again. Suzuki only 25 seconds into the game makes it 1-0. Like power play, we can't get anything from it. Shots are 12-10. Vegas after 1. We trail by 1 again. What did I just do? I decided to turn off my TV. Hopefully I come back to a surprise. No, we are still no score. Or at least we haven't scored. Still a score 1-0. Shots 22-19. We trail by 1 heading into the third. Can one of our clutch players get a goal? Verbata makes it 1-1. And for the second straight game, we score late to force overtime. It's 1-1 after 60 minutes. Shots are 29-20 in favor of Winnipeg. Let's see if we can take game 2. So we are all over them in overtime. It's an overtime power play. A long one too, but we couldn't get anything out of it. We're going to double overtime. Shots 43-32 in favor of the Jets. And a goal from Ellison in double overtime makes the series 1-1. 3 stars in this one. Bryant Connolly, Terry Anderson, and Jordan Messier. Assisted on both of Vegas' goals. We have to take that kid out. No. Series shifting to Vegas. And once again, the Golden Knights open the scoring in this series. As at that point, they're out shooting us 12-1. Be close in shots, 13-10 after 1. We trail by 1. Benoit ties it up. We then go on the power play. Vegas on the power play. A long one. Tied at 1 after 2. Shots 28-19 in favor of the Golden Knights. Thomas makes it 2-1. Thomas makes it 3-1. And we're going to take game 3, the first game in this series not to go to overtime. Shots 40-32 in favor of Winnipeg. And we now have a 2-1 series lead. 3 stars, Terry Andersons, Jeffrey Thompson, Patrick Laine. And we go to game 4. And we're midway through the first with no score. We're out shooting them at the moment. So shots after the first, 13-8 in favor of Winnipeg. It's no score heading into the second of game 4. Series is 2-1 Winnipeg. Last game was the first game that didn't go to overtime. We have not scored first in this series yet. And once again, Nakamura makes it 1-0 Vegas late in the second period. Shots are 26-20. We trail by 1. Heading to the third, we get an early 5-on-3. We can't get anything on a 5-on-3. Another power play for the Jets. And Wong makes it 2-0. Vegas takes game 4 in this back and forth series. Shots 39-29 in favor of Winnipeg. We're going back to Winnipeg. Best of 3 now. Connolly, Andersons, and Reginald Nakamura with the 3 stars. Crap. And there's the first time we've scored first in this series. It only took the game 5. And Patrick Laine making it 2-0 after Shota opens the scoring. That's Laine's first goal of the playoffs. Shots are 15-10 in favor of the Golden Knights. We lead by 2 after 1 in Game 5 series tied up 2-2. Canone makes it 3-0. Stevens makes it 4-0. Our offense finally showing up to this series. As other than the first 2 games are decided by 1 goal, both in overtime. Verbata making it 5-0. And we take a 5-0 lead into the third. Shots 24-21. St. Louis breaks the shutout bid. Ellison makes it 5-2. Nakamura makes it 5-3. Then they go on the power play. Our defense just collapsed in the third. But we do manage to hold on for the victory, looks like. So despite giving up 3 goals in the third, we do manage to take a 5-3 victory. I'm not happy with that at all. Shots were 32-28 in favor of the Jets throughout that game. But giving up 3 goals in the third, not a good sign. Jared Cano, Henry Chiodo, and Patrick Laine, your 3 stars. We're at game 6 as we look to take the series in 6. We open up with a power play. Get nothing of it. It's a close checking game. We're midway through. Shots are only 6-2 in favor of the Jets right now. 7-3, 8-3, 8-4, 9-5, 10-5. So shots after 1, 10-5 in favor of Winnipeg. No score. This is a close hit, close checking game. As the shot totals aren't going up very high, they're actually letting us play right now. Shots after 2, 23-16 in favor of Winnipeg. There's no score. We lead this series by 1. We get the first goal of the game from Stevens early in the third. Only second time in this series we have scored first. Can we hold on for the 1-0 victory? And we do. Take game 6, 1-0. Shots 36-29 in favor of the Jets. We are going on to the second round. The 3 stars: Bryant Connolly, Terry Andersons, and Dustin Stevens. And in the second round, we are going to play the Minnesota Wild, who went to 7 against their opponent. Let's quickly take a look at the playoff tree. As the Wild put out the Avalanche in 7, we took out the Golden Knights in 6. There's the Flames in 5 over Arizona. The Sharks in 6 over Vancouver. Over in the East, it was the Islanders in 7 over the Devils. The Hurricanes in 6 over the Senators. The Panthers in 7 over Boston. And Detroit in 5 over Tampa. Well, it's April 23rd. And we open the scoring with a quick goal from Benoit. Kill for 5-on-4, 5-on-3, and then Winnick makes it 1-1. Bad penalties let them get back in the game. And shots are 13-9 in favor of the Jets after 1. It's all tied up at 1 in game 1 of the second round. Let's see how they do. Come on, boys. We're still shooting them. Shots 24-19 after 2. Score 1-1 in game 1 of the second round. Another power play for us. They get a power play. We killed that one off. And we were off to a slow start in the second round. As it looks like we are going to overtime in game 1. Shots 34-28 in favor of the Peg. And Minnesota takes game 1 2-1 with a quick goal from McGarth on Anderson's in overtime. 3 stars: Magnus Eriksson, Terry Andersons, and Brock Winnick. And we trail 1-0 in the series. Oops. And we want goals. Sorry about that. Schwartz makes it 1-0 for the 2-0 Minnesota. And Minnesota leading 2-0 after 1. Shots 13-11. Favor of the Wild, as they look like they're going to take game 2 because our offense just is not showing up. Now we've tied up the shots. We actually take shot lead, 24-23 into the third. We're down by 2. And Minnesota's going to take game 2 unless we get something going. That's over. So we're down 2-0 in Minnesota as they get an all empty net from Dahlin. They take game 2 3-0. Magnus Eriksson, Terry Andersons, and Rasmus Dahlin with 3 stars. We have scored 1 goal this round. So we're going to juggle the lineups a little bit, try to spark this team. As series shifts to Minnesota. Thomas opens the scoring for us. And we are going to take a 1-0 lead into the second period, despite being outshot 11-7. Thomas with a second of the game makes it 2-0 in the second period. Bergfors makes it 3-0. Laine makes it 4-0. Shots are 23-21 after 2. We lead 4-0. And we get a measure of revenge, taking game 3, 4-0. 3 stars: Terry Andersons, Jeffrey Thomas, and Patrick Laine. And we also even up the goal scoring in this series at 5 apiece. Let's see if we can take game 4 now and get back into this series. Oh man. Nothing on a long power play. We get another goal. Power play, nothing. So we're 0 for 4 on the power play already in this game. Out shooting Minnesota 10-5 as we say this. No score in the first. Shots are 13-6 in favor of Winnipeg. We are down 2-1 in this series. And come on, that's like 6 or 7 power plays in this game. We can't get anything. It's another power play for us. Shots 26-14, no score after 2. This is not looking good. And Thomas with a power play goal finally makes it 1-0. Choto makes it 2-0. And we take game 3, 2-0. Game 4 with a 2-0 score. 39-24 shots on net. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We were 1 for 8 on the power play in that game. That is not good. We tie up the series. Shifting back to Winnipeg. I'm going to move line 8 to the second power play. Move Stevens up. Maybe that'll help. And Shore opens the scoring early in the first to give us a 1-0 lead. We've actually shut out Minnesota in back-to-back games. So and shots 18-8 in favor of Minnesota after 1. We lead 1-0. Nothing on the power play. Another power play. Nothing. Shots 21-18 after 2. We lead 1-0. We take a penalty. It's a long one. We kill it off. That's 0 for 3 on the power play for us in this game. Now 5 seconds left. Schwartz gets the first goal in 9 periods of hockey for the Wild to force overtime. Shots 24-34 in favor of the Wild. We're going to overtime. It's 0 for 4 on the power play. Schwartz with the second of the game ends it. And we are down 3-2. Terry Anders, Joe D. Schwartz, and Magnus Harrison with the 3 stars. We cannot score on home ice. And Stevens opens up the scoring. Benoit makes it 2-0. Carpentier makes it 2-1. It's 2-1 after 1 shots, 13-12 in favor of Winnipeg. The Wild not going down without a fight. That's their first goal on home ice in this series. Come on, Winnipeg, get one more goal. There we go. Blue Jays makes it 3-1. And we lead 3-1 after 2 shots, 25-21. As we look to force game 7. We then go on the power play in the third. There you get a power play and a goal from McGarth. Canone with the empty netter ends the game 4-2 as we are going back to Winnipeg for game 7. Terry Anders, Ronald Pluhos, and Gordon McGarth with the 3 stars. It's the second time the Wild have forced game 7 in the series. And we have not scored on power play since I made the changes. Dolan makes it 1-0. Shots 18-6 in favor of us, but we trail by 1. Another penalty to us. Winnick makes it 2-0. And I think for the 3rd straight year we're going to be done in the second round. Shots 29-16 in favor of Minnesota. As I said, we can't score on home ice. Benoit makes it 2-1 with 4 minutes left, and we're done. Erickson, Winnick, McGarth, the 3 stars. The Wild put us on the second round. That is our, I believe, 3rd straight second round exit. Just horse shit. We lost every game on home ice in the second round. And it's the Carolina Hurricanes winning the Stanley Cup again. And I think about it, you just do it this way. Docs. Go. Yeah, so I'm just looking at my Google Doc here. That is the third straight second round exit for us. So we have to do something to shake up the team. For some reason my iPad won't allow me to edit Google Docs, which is ridiculous. So Carolina Hurricanes. Oops. Bear. Scranton Penguins. First time they won the Calder Cup. Minimum cap is almost 108. The maximum is just over 127. So it's Columbus, Dallas, Edmonton, Washington, St. Louis, Pittsburgh, Chicago, the Islanders, Nashville, Los Angeles, Rangers, Buffalo, Philadelphia, Toronto, and Toronto with the 14th and 15th pick in this draft. Not bad. And we lose two players this year as Chris Brennan retires, and so does Patrick Laine. Laine finishing up his career at 519 goals, 1,255 points. He was a Jets draft pick, played most of his career with us, then went over to Montreal for a couple seasons. His last playoff, 2 goals, 6 assists. $50 points in his last season. Only missed 3 games. Not bad. So Patrick Laine, thank you for your years of service, both to the organization and without Chris Brennan, he became an extra player for us. He was a 2020 Philadelphia Flyers 5th round pick. So Patrick Laine is the big name right now, who's retired. Demko, Shirokov, Yaros, Broussard, Humphreys, and Edmonds are goalies retiring. But the big fish retiring is Patrick Laine, Jack Eichel. Draisaitl retires as well. Ehlers, DeBrincat, Nolan Patrick, Jost Strom, Horvat, Pelini, Yamamoto, Thomas. I'm going to make my decision on who I'm going to put up on the trade block after I take a look at the playoff stats. Because I want to get the awards winners done. So, fill out this one right now. Carolina. President's Trophy last year, I think, with the San Jose Sharks. Yeah. And it was the Calgary Flames making it to the Stanley Cup final. Thomas took home the Art Ross. Nice. Yeah, that great a year. The Hart. Guerin. He's a goalie. I think so. Dice dethrones Bednar. The Bing going to Dice as well. Nice. He's a guy I've been looking at for the last couple of years. Calder going to Matheson from Toronto. TH. Smythe going to Shannon. The Vesna going to him, yeah. And the Jennings, Apple and Richie splitting it for the Coyotes. Masterson going to Bachman. Selke going to Bork once again. Lindsay going to Garen. And the Maurice going to Thomas. I think it's the second time winning that award in his career. I'll have to check. G. Oh, and he shared with Riley. It's the second time in his career Riley has shared that award. I know Riley's Calgary. Okay, so we got that done. Who underperformed in the playoffs? Okay, I can't say Sylvain Benoit did. Stevens didn't. Scuderi, Bednar, Hunter. First year in the NHL, he got 30 points, -8. So Hunter, you're going up on the block. Chiodo, you're going to go up on the block as well. Richard Verbata. They only played 20 games this year, so I'm not going to blame you. You know, and you play pretty much how you're supposed to. So we're going to put Chiodo Verbata, or Hunter Chiodo Verbata, I think. Hunter. Chioda. Verbata. Ooh, actually. And we're going to throw Anders. We're going to give the rookie a chance next season. Because he's a medium elite, so. Ooh, let's add this trade. I've already drafted the first, okay. So we're making our first pick in the second round. We got 2 first rounders for next year. Not a lot of potential in this draft. Oh, I'm just gonna go with guys with potential. Nice, another low elite. Ding. And my second screen is back up. So Hale in the second, Bachman, Rourke in the third, Acto in the fourth, or fifth, sixth, seventh, or something like that. Two. Three. Ooh, man, it's going to be tough. So, nah, not worth it. Well, let's get to the resign phase, see who resigns. Crackner accepts. Order accepts. Accept. 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 That was easy. Okay, now Dice and Riley out there. Guys, I want to look at. He's a free agent. And Bork. And Bork's a free agent. 1 year left on his deal. Okay. But I know who I'm going after. No, he was traded. Where is he? Who knew? So I'm loading up with 2 Norris winning defensemen. $12 million to play with this year. Okay, now let's look at gaps. Four. So we need a right winger. 4, 5, and a defenseman. So we have $12 million to play with. And we use a back. Lando Newberry. Single-year career stats. 40, hit up 32, then dropped off. 18, getting playoff experience. Ooh, you've been to Stanley Finals what, 3 times? Are not a score. Played 26 games last year in the NHL. Let's have a look around here. Let's try for those guys. Let's see what we get. Newbury accepts. Mowers accepts. Shore rejects his extension. Nilsson accepts. And Thomas accepts his 2-year extension. And I have 2.5 left this year. Let's look at gaps. Four. Four. 34. 6. I need at least one more defenseman. I got $2.5 million to find one. So or I now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 goalies. I got this guy. I think that would go through. Use an extra one now for defenseman. We should have 6, 7 good defensemen. All under multiple year deals, which is nice. I think I'm done for free agency now. So you do this year, Reese. Only got 3 million left. An extension bucks right now, but I'm actually happy with the way this team is. We're right up against the cap. So I might have to trade someone for a little bit of relief at some point. Scuderi, how you doing career-wise? You've improved every year, so you get to stay. Gorlo. You've been up and down. 21, 25, 28, dropped 16, 25, 13. Leg. I think I just acquired you, so. Berg 4s, you're a grinder. Who makes 2.5 million? Okay, that's okay. Benoit's a steal right now. So if I play this right, Halpern's big contract should be the year Thomas retires. So he'll just get the Thomas money. See if I can get a cheaper option for Morgan. Ship him around. You don't have what I'm looking for. Interest, but maybe at the right deal. At least want an 80 if I can find one that's cheap. Only 1 year left. There, I got the cap relief I needed. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. My dog was upstairs just barking her head off at nothing. So we've got the cap space we wanted. I should have about $2 million under the cap now. Yeah, 2.5. That's perfect. And we'll try Swine Sweat to a longer term deal. And we're going to get to the start of the next season. And Sweat accepts his 2-year extension. Shore accepts his extension. So we are set for next season. Okay, so we are at the start of the new 2035-36 season. We've got to call up a forward. That's right, captains, of course, are going to Thomas, Pujols, and Bednar. Edit lines are going to look like this year, as we've got Stevens, Guderi, Thomas on the top line, Newberry, Benoit, and Goulot on the second, Verbata, Leg, and Canone on the third, Shore, Bergforce, and Halpern on the fourth. On defense, we're going with Bluehost and Bednar on the top pairing, Dwayne Dice, Preston Swait, Austin Wesley, and Goodnot on the third pairing. Okay. Our 7th defenseman this year is going to be Mowers. And we just got to call up a forward. To see what we're going to do here. So. Actually, what do we have available for free agents? Nah. Let's call someone from within the organization. So Hennessy is down in the minors this year. I think he came over. Yeah, he came over in the trade that brought Line A back to the team. So yeah, I'd rather have him down there for one more year. Ray is our playmaker's 23, 23, 22, 23, 23, 24, 22. Screw it, I was called the best guy. So I'm pretty happy with the way this team's going to look this year, I think. Only have 3 right-handed shooting forwards. Okay. I'm going to do one more season and then I'm going to call it a day. Try to catch another nap before work. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. I wasn't 100% sure they have the right goaltenders up. Oh, they do. Okay. So if we look at the edit lines, we are giving Vic Telios a 2nd round pick in the 2030 draft. The start in net. He's got 8 years. He's 23 years of age. He has only played 7 NHL games, going 3, 2, and 1 in those plays. He got decent save percentage in his appearances. He's even decent down. Well, his first year in the A, he kind of sucked, but last year in the A, he improved. He's got no playoff experience, which is why we brought in Logan Nelson. He's also a medium elite goaltender who's gone 11, 21, 31, 37 wins in 3 years in the NHL. Decent numbers as a backup. So if Vic should falter, Nelson should be able to pick up the slack. At least that's the theory. As we're going to be a very, I'm hoping we're a more defensive-minded team this year. Let's go to February 28th. It's a leap year. Let's get to the trade deadline. So far, I'm liking the preseason. 2 wins. second. So 5-0-1 in preseason. So my second screen I just reconnected, so I don't know if we can get that comment. Give me 1 second here.
Nice start to the preseason.
Yes, it was. I'm actually surprised considering, as I said, we went with it. I decided to give a goaltender with like no experience the net. So, but I did put a solid defense in front of him. I got the last two James Norris winners in front of him. So, even a nice start to the season. 7-2-2, 7-3-2 now. I think I did that backwards. A lot of injuries this year, mostly of them to the Manitoba squad. Say, you know, December 1st, blah, 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 blah. I don't know if you saw, but last year I brought Line back to the team for the playoffs, Rex.
Injury bug has struck.
Yes, it has. I was saying I brought Line back to the Jets for a playoff run, and he retires on me. 24, 7-5, or 8-5 now. And Toronto really wants to make this deal to get Ramsey off our team. Oh. Okay, this rest week should help the kid. Leg with the neck strain. That's his second injury this season. And Sweet with a mild concussion. fourths and fifths. What do you want? Just a 6 for that guy. 8-5 win. What a game. So I don't think there's a whole lot I can do at the deadline this year. Unless I decide to move out Thomas. But I think I'm committed to letting him play his entire career with us. He's been a consistent 30-goal scorer his entire career. So... 6. That's the 4th time Toronto's offered us the same trade for Ramsey. Whitaker, what are you and how would you help me? No. You're not even good enough to crack my lineup. Last time I played Vegas, they trounced us 8-1. Overtime lost them. So 37-19 and 9. That's good enough for, drum roll please, second the division. 17 points. Once again, Jeffrey Thomas hits that 30-goal plateau. Bednar right behind with points. Dice with 41, only 1 goal. He is struggling to adapt to our system. He's been a double-digit goal scorer the last couple seasons, but still getting a lot of assists. Huge drop-off in goals after, but then it's a lot of goals by committee, so I'm okay with that. Everyone but one guy who suited up has scored at least 1 goal for us, so that's okay. Let's take a look at these goalies. Teslos, 26, 13, and 8. 5 shutouts, 923 goals against average, a 213 goals against. Logan Nelson is 11, 5, and 1 as the backup with 921 and a 232. So, I am happy with both of those players. Only thing I could think to do maybe is if there's a solid defenseman or forward that can impact the team just for this year though. How is our old goaltender doing? He's only played 12 games for Colorado. Okay. So I can't get Hamilton unless I increase the player salary. Wow, they're really under the cap. If I went to bring in veteran center. That's why Edmonton got rid of McDavid. Good defenseman, but I can't afford to send them cap back for him, so. Come back to Los Angeles. Yeah, I didn't think that was going to happen. Oops, wrong thing. So I'm up to Montreal. Frig off. Alright, so we just picked up a right winger. Okay, and let's see if we can get one more small trade done. I'm curious to see if where McDavid ended up. So McDavid went from Edmonton to Calgary in the last year of his career. Okay, so with that red right winger coming in, how do you not get pulled up in all those roster moves? What the hell? Yeah, I'm gonna move that Bohemian out. He's fucked up my team. Switch to the NHL side. There we go. Ooh, I know what I can do. Oh man, I hate these trades, but okay, now let's get away. I can do what I needed to here. I guess I'll just leave it for now. Take a look at the lines. Well, let's see how we do in the playoffs. Let's hit 40 wins, yes. Let's get 45 by the end of March. Okay, looks like we have a 51 season probably. Nine, 50 win season. I will be right back. I'm gonna end this broadcast here, then I'll be back.